just look at that line of demarcation where all this beautiful lush grass and clovers is all growing up, and then where the pigs have hammered it. So today we're running fence line, and we get it all strung. We're going this, let me get my hand out of the way, this block of woods right over here behind the trailers. We got a trail that goes back to the west, and it goes, I don't know if you can see it or not on the screen. I can't see a thing. Way out there, that big old oak tree out there in the back, that's where we're heading. So a great big plot of land they need to put on. One of the problems, seems like I'm always talking about problems on this damn channel, is that we bought this place a year and a half ago, so we're putting everything in from scratch. And you've only got about 6 months of the year when you can drive fence poles in the ground and get new land put in. So we've had them rotating up through the woods on the opposite side, but over here, you know, they've been over here, well, maybe a little longer than we prefer. You know, they're still doing well. We were able to bring in a couple dump truck loads of wood chips to put into a little lounge area. And of course, they're going to stick close by the water, by the house, where we feed them. And you know, they're generally pretty good. They go off in the woods and do stuff. Part of this land, I actually want to turn into a pasture. So, partly been kind of busy. Partly, I kind of want them to hammer the snot out of it anyway. I kind of want a moonscape because I want to be able to. The compaction means it's going to be much longer for it to reseed, but they can clear out a lot of it. And you leave them here long enough, and you can even see right here we get these poplars, but down at the bottom you can see where they're all tearing apart and they're girdling the trees. Yesterday I caught them climbing up on the stumps to get the tree branches, and there's almost a line, not quite, that goes up about 3 feet. Pretty much everything they can reach for vegetation, they're hammering the snot out of right now. One, we've been super busy. It's been tough getting them moved. We had them on another spot that they beat on. And then, pumpkin spice, just hammering on everybody. And two, we wanted to kind of clear this. Now, we started this same process last year. Watch where we're going. We get turtles laying eggs out here. So you can see over here, I'll see if I can't swing this in. This spot, where they're in now, compared to last year. Now, last year, this green spot is where they were at. We did the same thing. We just left them here for quite a while. Now, I did end up reseeding this. This isn't all natural reseeding. I put down, well, a few hundred pounds of some conservation mix because I want just a variety of stuff. And we started clearing it to make a pasture. It just hasn't gotten that far yet. There's still a lot of work to be done. And eventually what I'll probably do is I'll probably end up keeping like this nice big oak right here. And then all the maple and all the popple, that'll just be firewood, and we'll have a nice little pasture. And eventually we'll do the same thing over here. They've just hammered this. That's kind of about the extent of what they're going to do for land clearing. A lot of folks say, oh, you should get pigs and they can clear your land. Well, they'll kind of do it a little bit. What's really beneficial is that they'll get in there, knock out all the grounder work so you can actually see what you're doing. You're not trying to wade through crap like this. You know, like just a whole bunch of bush, right? That's just a mess to try to work through. So when we move the pigs off, we can go through and cut all those trees and have an excavator come in and just suck it all right up. Maybe get our front end loader with all the grapples. Those grapples, we can hook right onto it, dump it, whatever. But you can walk around, even out here. I mean, even over here, you can walk around super easy and pick up slash on the ground. There's sticks and throw them into a big burn pile. You can get around easy. Yeah, with no issues at all. So this is going to be partly kind of the end goal for that paddock we just looked at, is to have a nice pasture. And it's going to take a while. Like this season, I'm not doing anything out here. All these little rye and clovers and everything else that comes up, these are all going to reseed. So next year it's going to be twice as thick. And we're going to let that continue to perpetuate. And, you know, maybe this, perhaps this winter, fall, we'll have a big land clearing party and just invite everybody over to come by and, well, like all this slash is just left behind. You know, you can walk through here pretty easily. Pick it all up, put it in the pile. Well, we'll take what we can for wood out of it and then burn it. Or maybe make hugelkulturs out of it. I don't know. I don't know what the hell we'd plant into them, but we could do something. And hopefully if we can get this whole thing cleaned up within the next couple of years, because in the next couple of years we're going to have a lot of these sprouts coming off from the maples. There's going to be brambles shooting up. All these little guys are going to explode, and then it's going to be a jungle to walk through here. Oh, see, what do we get here? So we have cereal rye coming up. And I think the littler ones were rye grass. Oh, now my eyes can't seem to set them apart. Anyway, this area was just simply broadcast, nothing else done to it. The next section over where the broilers are at, and we're actually trying to create pastures in these small spots. I'm not a big open area kind of guy. I like the woods. But over in this section, we did the same thing with grass. And we, again, had the pigs hammering it pretty hard. But over here, we spread hay everywhere to act as a mulch. And we went way down through the woods. Oh, several bales, 2 full round bales, a couple 100 pounds of conservation mix, which really is just a big variety of like 9 different seeds. Because of the variation in all these in the soil, clay, wet, waterlogged, compacted soils that are probably acidic, we want to get some plants growing here, and as those plants grow, the whole pH and structure of the soil is going to change, and other seeds are going to be able to grow, and on and on. So today we're pretty much running a fence line. Of course, now it's way back out in the woods out there, but ideally we're going to have our pigs, we're going to have all these fences put in with the next, I don't know about this summer, but with the next couple of years. And then it's pretty slick, because we can just have a series of, I think we're going to have 15 to 20 different paddocks throughout the woods. And we'll run a water line, so if you can envision where the hoop house is now, and where the little chicks are out there playing. Essentially where the gates are. We have one paddock right here, so they hang out here for a couple weeks. Then we bounce them to the next paddock. They're there for a couple weeks. Bounce them to the next paddock. And we just keep doing that rotation all year long. So the ground gets hammered. Not very hard though. They're there so little that compaction, turning the earth up is minimalized. Because what we really want to do is prevent erosion issues. And we want the ground to recover so that the pigs can actually come back and essentially have something to forage off of. They're probably going to get maybe 20% of their diet out of the natural forage of just plant matter. But throughout the season we have brambles that come up through. We have the beaked hazelnuts, acorns, apples, plus all the little frogs and worms and bugs and grubs that they can eat. Oh, look, there's one right there. There's Tittles, a resident painted turtle. Oh, a little shy. They come up out of Larry and Martha's flowage and lay eggs all over the driveway. And the snappers come out and get hung up in the fence lines, and the mallards are laying their eggs and hatching out ducklings over by the chicks. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. So anyway, when I get back into the woods, I'll start showing you some more of our paddock system as it continues to develop when we get this put in place. But eventually it's going to be a pretty awesome system for just keeping the pigs on fresh ground, giving them tons of nutrition, tons of stimulation. They've always got something to do. They're not in the same area. We can keep them in an area on purpose if we really want fields, but really I only want like 2 little fields, 2 little pastures, just enough to run our pasture poultry on. Maybe to go sit out there and hunt a deer, put out a couple apple trees out there, throw a baseball or something. But it's just nice to have that little bit of diversity out here. So I guess that's all I got on that. All right, guys, talk to you later. Thanks.